started? Okay, we're ready? All right, guys, I am Yatra Mascarino. I am the productivity coach at Keller Williams Elevate. And I think you guys all met Lynn. Obviously, everyone knows Lynn. So we're going to get started today. So today, the topic is capture more leads. So up until today, we have talked about pretty much our sphere. So our sphere is the leads that we know, and they also know us. And today we're going to be talking about other sources of leads. So there's methods for meeting new people, getting to know them, and having them know you. And we're going to be talking all about that today. So before we get started, what I really wanted to do is just take just a few minutes and share some success stories. So all the lead generation that we've talked about up until now is open houses, social media. I just want to hear some success stories. Has anyone, implemented something new from something that we've learned, or, taken something away that they're looking forward to implement? So I just want to have some people share some stories. Anyone in this room? Yeah.
I've just really taken to heart, like Facebook and just marketing that way. And
Yep.
I got a list, not a listing, but a buyer out of it.
That's awesome.
And a couple just good connections for future buyer stuff.
Okay, so if you didn't hear, she just said that she is really kind of taken the Facebook social media marketing, and she got herself a new buyer from it. So that's awesome. Does anybody from Legacy want to share a story?
Anyone here? Anything you guys have done since the beginning that has helped you?
Kind of stuck with the same stuff.
Same stuff. They feel like it was the same thing that was already said.
Okay, what about living?
Ditto. London was sharing that yesterday was awesome. Got some nuggets. She said she gets nuggets from every single class, but yesterday was really good, and she's doing a couple things different in social media. Where'd she go? That's all.
That's awesome. And what about someone online? You guys want to share a success story?
Yes, I can. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll go next.
Okay, thanks. I do post like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've been doing this for over a year, and I was able to get 3 leads, solid leads out of that, just from Facebook.
That's fantastic. Who was next?
I was going to chime in real quick. This is Alicia Barton. I've been doing the 10-5-1 like religiously since we started Ignite, and I've noticed every day I have friend requests on Facebook, which is not normal. Like, they're people I don't know. There's like at least 5 to 10 of them every day.
I love that. That's awesome. Good job, everyone. Okay, so we are going to kind of get into today's content. The agenda for today, we're going to talk about systems at work, prospecting versus marketing, referrals, more sources, capturing every lead, and then we'll kind of recap. So to start thinking, okay, so I'm going to start with quote. So you love people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting for them. So this is about learning to love lead generating, which I know sounds hard. I've been lead generating for a long time, and I don't know that I love it, but I will say the hunt for it is fun. So our objective for today is to gain a deeper understanding of how to create lead generating messages, and then be able to expand your referral strategies. So by the end of this session, and we're going to spend some time at the end, we're going to choose our top 4 lead generation sources. One of those is our sphere. So really 3 from what we're learning today. So as we're going through them, really start thinking about 3 of them that you want to implement, and try to become an expert in.
I forgot to tell them. Elevate does have a team meeting today, so we will be ending around 10:40 or so. Like that's the
Yeah, we won't go past them. Okay. So, I know you guys have heard Keller Williams is built on models and systems. So naturally there's a system for capturing more leads. So your number 1 job as a real estate agent is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. So, we're in the business of lead generation. And since leads are everywhere, we must always be hyper aware and be alert for when they appear. Okay, so lead generation should always be purposeful and intentional. And if you look at this slide, what page are we on?
9.
Okay, so we're on 9.3, guys. So if you look, the message must match your market, and then it must make an offer for immediate response. So matching the market by tailoring the intended message to the sentiment and market conditions of a target group, and then having a call to action. So right now, if you think about, you know, what's a message that could match our market right now? So we want to think about, say, interest rates. You know, we know interest rates are rising. So what's a message with interest rates that we could use that matches its market and that calls for immediate callback? So something could be, hey, I have some great lenders that I work with that have some great programs right now. One of my lenders is even able to lock in rates for an extended period of time. Call me today to get some more information on that. What's another message that could match our market right now that you could talk to leads about? Anyone? How about, you know, it could be something as simple as this awesome house just came on the market. If you're looking for a home in the neighborhood, call me right away. Or, you know, you know about the prices of homes in this neighborhood, you know, things are changing a little bit. How about you give me a call? We can kind of discuss the market. Yep.
About talking about how rent is going up.
Yeah.
That might be cheaper to actually buy monthly.
I love that. And that's a great, I mean, you can even use that to target renters. And talk, and if you guys didn't hear her at your market center, she said, you know, saying something about how rent is going up and targeting them to purchase rather than renting. Okay, so there's two primary methods of getting your message out. So it's prospecting versus marketing. So we're going to be talking about prospecting. I know we've talked about marketing in other segments. This segment is, or this, our conversation today is all going to be based around prospecting. Okay, so when you're truly on the hunt for leads, you'll find many opportunities. And truly, you know, something that I always challenge everyone in the PC program is I would say, try to meet one new person every single day. It's a great way to add people to your database. So, you know, for example, let's say you're at a coffee shop and you overhear a couple talking about an open house. So the way that you want to think about what's your approach, how are you going to approach someone? How are you going to connect with them? And then how are you going to ask them either for their information or for business? So, you know, the coffee shop example, you know, you might approach them by saying, hey, I heard you talking about an open house. Are you looking for a home in this area? The connection could be, I'm actually a local real estate agent and I know a lot of homes in this area. And that question could be, can I have your contact information or can I share my contact information? And I will make sure that I get a list of all the available homes to you. And that, I mean, and how often do you hear people talking about an open house? Probably never. So a more realistic example could be, you know, let's say you're at the grocery store and you just run into someone and you say, hey, you know, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm a local real estate agent in this area. And, you know, I work with a lot of local vendors and things like that. I would love to get your information and share some vendors with you, or, you know, just starting conversation, but it's all about how you approach them, connecting with them, and then asking for their information. And then don't forget to apply the Ford method, which is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Something that I always do when I do meet someone new, rather than giving them my business card, I share my contact card for my contacts. So that way I'm asking them for their phone number and telling them that I'm going to share my contact card with them. And my contact card, it has my name, it says that I'm with Keller Williams, so that when they get it, whenever they get a text from me, it'll say Yatra Mascarino, Keller Williams, Elevate. This is a great way to get their information rather than just giving you their business cards, because I don't know about you guys, but when I get a business card, I'm not really good about keeping a hold of that business card. But it's just a great way to say, hey, can I have your phone number? I'm going to share my contact card with you, so that way you have my information. Any questions?
I'll talk to you about the contact card part. I mean, I'm sure it's not that
No, so I can show you really
I've seen
quick.
your contacts before.
Your contact card is just literally, so if you go to your contacts, the first one is you. So it's that has my funny little meme. You could put a picture of yourself or something like that too, but just Yatra Mascarino, Keller Williams Elevate, and then you just share contacts.
So is that the company name? You have Keller Williams Elevate?
I have Keller Williams Elevate. You
Or is
can
it a
have-
part of your name too? Because I know sometimes like it only show one thing versus.
Can I give you my text pin?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
please.
I
Text me.
love everyone knows this QR code.
there you go.
So you can make something, so my favorite site is Flow Code. You can go there and make flow pages, and on flow page, you can make everything. So you could put all your social medias, all your web pages, everything you got about you. And for those of you that like, you have a pop-up Navi thing, I don't know what they're.
Mine broke,
But you know what I'm talking about.
Pop socket.
Pops, that's what they are, pop socket. You could put it on the back of one of those, so when you meet someone, you can just have them scan it, because everyone knows how to use a QR code. You can put it right there and they can just scan it.
that's great.
They have
So
like little
if they
cards.
scan it, do you get their information too?
Not really, but
Okay.
they have all your stuff right then and there.
Yeah.
They can send it to you, you guys do airdrops, because you
Yeah.
Apple people love to airdrop things. I don't like the airdrops, but it does work. You can do the flow code, so as long as they have your information in your phone, you can get hold of them and vice versa.
Yeah. I just think the phone either
Or ask,
QR code or texting,
ask them.
business cards are great. However, this way you're actually getting their information. And you know that, and, you know, even if you're just talking to them or if it's a QR code, if it's in their phone, then it's more likely to be.
When I first met you guys, I would say half of you shook my hand and put a card in it. Like, I was like, okay.
What are you gonna do with all this business?
I have them, so like, that's how I was remembering you. When I met you, like, because I met like 600 of you guys, and I'm like, so the
It's
one
like
that was meeting.
it's like a magician's act.
I was going through them, I was like, okay, so I met you, and so like, I went through the business cards to see if I actually met you. Did I meet you before? Before I actually knew you, I'm like, how am I supposed to remember you? But I didn't know where you actually belonged. Did you belong at Elevate? Did you belong at Legacy? I'm like. Because I know, did I have a conversation with you? I didn't know. And so, or you like, they would say, can I get your phone number? Like, I thought that was a little forward, but you asked for my information, that way you could call me later. You were asking me for help, but I didn't realize that. I didn't know, but I mean, some of them were experienced in real estate. You coming from a non-real estate background, I didn't know, but you gave me your card, you're like, well, let me get your phone number so I can give you a call. I'm like, okay, why do you want to call? Help, obviously, but you would have gave me the real estate speech, you know, like, if you have any real estate, let me get your phone number.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of genius. Not everyone did it, but the more experienced real estate, it was like, didn't think anything of it. And then like after my 50th card, I'm like, okay, here's the speech. Then I got a card, like, here you go. That way I didn't have to have that speech anymore. But genius.
Lynn, I've got a question.
Sure.
I also put the QR code on my phone. Were you discussing, is it the QRV card that you mentioned, or was it something else?
So I was talking about flow pages because one of the agents in Legacy had flow pages and I really liked them. And it was, he put it on a pop socket and he would like scan it and all their stuff would like go into their phone. So if they ever needed a realtor, they're in their phone. So you got everything in there. I mean, if you needed their website, if you needed their phone number,
that's great.
if you're in their phone, you're their realtor.
Yeah,
So I like that.
yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
Yep, any other questions? Okay. Kind of-
Yatra,
Eh,
so are you saying flow pages? What we didn't understand what you were saying.
Flow, FLOW, code.
FLOW.
So that you can go on there to create QR codes.
Is part of it.
And
Thank
then, yep. Okay. So we've talked about prospecting versus marketing. We are going to be talking about prospecting. Okay, you're right here. Okay. So lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing. Okay. So. We should be, hold on, I'm just making sure. Ah. Okay. So the chart, the graph that I am looking at, let me see what page it is on your guys. I feel like we're on different. pages. Sorry, guys. Okay, so what I'm gonna show you is this chart where you see like the timeline of everyone, their likelihood to move. I know you guys have all seen this chart before, so pretty much everyone that you know, your sphere, leads, everything everyone that you guys know, I think we're technically on 9-5, but I'm kind of talking about the lifetime of people and how they move. So they say everyone moves about every 7 to 10 years. So everyone you know, every lead that you prospected somewhere on the graph. So whether they're at the bottom, maybe they just bought a house. Maybe they're in the middle, they have a couple more years in their home, or maybe they're at the top, they're a hot lead, they're looking to move now. You want to make sure that you are prospecting to these people throughout the lifetime of that cycle. So the people that are at the bottom, they just bought a house, or they're not anywhere in the vicinity to move, they have young kids and they're going to stay until their kids graduate, whatever the case is. I mean, you want to keep them in your database. These are leads that you want to keep in your database. And yes, you want to stay top of mind so that when they do move, you're the realtor that they use, but you also want to keep top of mind because as time goes on, they're going to have family, friends, other people asking about agents, and you want to be the agent that they refer. So this is pretty much just saying, no matter where anyone is on that lifetime of where they're at in their cycle of moving, and that gets hard because when you're prospecting, especially me when I'm making calls, if someone's not going to move now, it's really hard to think like, okay, I got to keep in touch with them, but that's why we have command. So we want to get all of our leads put into command so that we can get them on some sort of campaign so that we're always touching base with them. And we're always top of mind with people. And that's how you're really going to build your pipeline so that you're working smarter and not harder, because over the years, you're going to be building all these great relationships. And when they're ready to move, you're going to be the agent that they choose. So any questions about that? So there's, so, okay. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So can anyone kind of talk about why we want to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced? And does everyone understand the difference between prospecting and marketing? So prospecting is obviously free. We're kind of, we're doing our own lead generation, and marketing is where we're spending money for our advertising. So why do we want to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced?
Is it because,
Go ahead. I'll let Forrest go, and then whoever was gonna answer
I was
online.
gonna say passive versus direct both have an impact, but together, you're able to kind of have consistent work.
Yeah,
But yeah, truthfully, I think the big emphasis, yeah, you have to prospect, you have to lead gen. That is number one. That's where your base amount of your business, or the most amount of your business should be.
yep,
And then you have the indirect or passive type of marketing that enhances that. But it's not where you should be spending the majority of your time.
absolutely. Anyone online?
I was just gonna say the same thing, like prospecting is more active, like being very involved in getting all that versus marketing, which is more of like the passive method.
And prospecting is more immediate, right? You get results a lot faster when you're doing your own prospecting versus paying money to put stuff out there. It might take time before you get a response, and you can't really control the results that you get as much as you can in prospecting.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now we are looking at the list of prospecting. So this is on page 9.5, so we're finally here. Okay, so there's many prospecting sources that you can share your messages through. I'm sure you guys are familiar with most of these. We're gonna take about 5 minutes per market center and talk about all the prospecting sources. And then when we come back, I really want to talk about, you know, the ones that you guys use the most, what works the best. Let's even talk about the ones that make you the most uncomfortable. And so let's take 5 minutes and discuss this with our own market centers, and then we'll reconvene. the center here. Okay, guys, so. Hold on, let me start a timer. This is really hard, because I don't know who to look at when I'm talking, because I have like you guys and then online and. Okay, so, I know, I need Lynn.
No, I hate that, yeah.
It follows movement and that makes me busy.
So let's talk about all the different ways that we can prospect. So there's for sale by owners, there's expired, circle prospecting, community outreach, key relationships, door to door. I don't know what meals means, but door to door canvassing, networking events. So what are some of your guys' top prospecting methods?
Can you guys mute, please? Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Are we on breakout?
Yes, we sure are. I thought it said muted.
No, that's good. Did we give them a time?
Are you? This is like classic.
Did you give them a time?
5 minutes.
you know.
Okay, we are back. So we're gonna share some of the things that we talked about. We'll start in this room. Who wants to share? Cricket. Do you want to share?
Sure,
Okay.
open houses.
Talk about it.
Love doing them. I think I found a few buyers through them, like just right off the rip, getting to know somebody, offering that Dunkin' Donuts gift card, just having signage. And they're usually pretty reluctant to do so. So offer that, and I send everybody in thank you cards, and even if it's next week, 6 months, a year, as you know, I've gotten calls for it, so.
I love it. Okay, what about someone from Legacy? You want to share?
Preston?
Just community events, like what I was thinking is you could probably even have a sign up for future, like a newsletter, like what's going on in your neighborhood or in Stark County or whatever. And that way they are asking for information, and then you have to they have to give you the right email
Right,
for that.
for future. So what Preston had said is he did a post on Facebook giving the list of trick or treat schedules for the community to bring traffic to his Facebook page. And then he said, taking it a step further, click here for more information about the market area and different events in the community.
Love that. Okay, someone from Living?
Does somebody want to share? We talked about community events also. We talked about just calling people that we know and using the Ford. And we talked about door knocking.
I love it. Absolutely. So there are some great free ways to prospect, as opposed to marketing. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the next. So I guess looking at the list in this room, you know, let's talk, what are some of the sources that you'll consider pursuing? So when it comes to, does anyone call for sale by owners or expired right now?
I used to a lot, but when the market shifted, I was kind of.
So I would say,
on that.
just honestly, right now, with the way the market is shifting, it's a great opportunity to call for sale by owners and expired. I know on our team, we have someone that literally every single day, that's her thing, is she calls expireds for 2 hours. And she's starting to see some production, but the market's different. And for sale by owners, when they were, you know, just like us, when we were selling listings in less than an hour sometimes, it's not like that anymore. So for sale by owners really need us more than they ever did. So if you see them, call them. Same with expireds. What about circle prospecting? Does anyone here do any circle prospecting? We're gonna talk a lot more about that here in a little bit, but yes,
Lengthy, yeah.
do you circle prospect your neighborhood or?
My neighborhood, and then also just, I constantly, it's following up, because a lot of times I know the individuals that I'm talking to in my sphere, my circle, we touch base, but then weeks go by and things change. So I'm just, calling up and kind of doing the Ford method introduction, but following up on our previous conversation and then maybe building on that. So I do like the A2B2 or A2.
R2D2, that's what I was calling.
Thank you.
D2. Do the database.
Do the database, hit the database.
Okay.
And I do the different, blocks of.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got someone here who does circle prospecting. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Zion. Will you tell us?
Okay, I love it.
He does a great job with circle prospecting.
Yeah, so I use a thing called Mojo Dialer, and it allows you to circle a neighborhood or anywhere, and it pulls all their information, their phone numbers, their emails, everything. And you can just call them up and ask them if they're looking to buy or sell, and if they know anyone that wants to buy or sell. And then even afterwards, you can send them an email saying, hey, thanks for talking with me. So.
Yeah, he does that on a very high level. Could you hear he uses a Mojo dialer for circle prospecting?
I love that.
What is
The
it?
Mojo dialer. We can talk about it.
It's an auto action system.
Okay, great. So community outreach, I know you guys talked about really key relationships. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. So we're gonna kind of move on here. I am gonna have Lynn talk about though, how you can, so when you're circle prospecting or when you're getting these leads, putting them into command. Because a lot of these times, these leads are going to be at the people at the bottom of that life cycle. So everyone moves, when we say 7 to 10 years. So what are some great ways to keep in touch with them? Your commands.
So depending on what you do, you may have an API Nation attachment. So when I say that, Command has third-party applications that pair with Command. They may be able to bring them automatically in to Command, maybe not, depending on what, we're using. You can put them in there and they'll bring them in, and then you can pretty much, when they come in, we can start putting them on smart plans. So smart plans in some people's world, in Command, that is basically a email, a phone call, a text message, depending on what we're trying to do to them. If you're using something like Boomtown, you're gonna hear them referred to as like drip campaigns. It's basically automated touches. So not like I'm reach out and touching them, but it's just basically ways to stay top of mind.
Yeah.
So it could be, it's funny because I don't know if Chanel's in the room, but I set up a smart plan with her last Friday and we sent it to me, and I was getting emails over the weekend. It says, "Hi, I'm just thinking about you." And I actually set it up with her. I was like, "Oh, how nice." And I was just like, "Why is she thinking about me?" We actually set it up, and it was just kind of funny that I forgot to even did it.
That's awesome.
But it was just like thinking, you could do something like that, because I was actually like, "Oh, how nice of her."
That's
It's something so, like, I did it, but how nice of it.
And that's the greatest, like, take advantage of command. So I know, like, probably one of my biggest downfalls is I am not the best at follow-up, and I try my hardest to get better and better. But let command, or we use Boomtown on our team, help you with that. So, you get a lead, and if they're not ready to buy right now, put them on some sort of drip campaign or smart plan right away. So that way, let command or Boomtown or whatever CRM you're using do that work for you. To stay top of mind. Because I think follow-up sometimes can be the hardest part. I know that's what you're gonna learn more about tomorrow. Because it's easy when you get someone on the phone, they're like, yeah, let's meet today and, let's talk about it. But if you meet someone, or if you call someone, or you meet someone, and they're like, I'm probably gonna move in the next year or so, that's when it's like, okay, how am I gonna remember to keep in touch with them? And that you need to immediately put them on some kind of drip or smart campaign. So that way you're constantly talking to them, and you don't even have to do the work.
You know what works the best that I find, like, I worked with Gina on this too, it's your voice. What are the words that you want to say? Not my words, not automated words.
Yes.
How do you talk? How do you communicate with that client? If you can't even, so it's overwhelming when I work with people for it to do it all at once. Like, that doesn't work for you guys. Most real estate agents don't think like that. Put it down on a piece of paper, start writing them in small little segments, and then we can put them together. Then it looks amazing when you actually get done with them, and they just go out and they work. Gina, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So I prospect to agents, so it's all can be applied the same way. So I use my command as a database of potential agents and agents in the market that I reach out to. So we've created, with the help of Lynn, flyers that go out in an email drip campaign. So every single month there's a flyer, and they don't have to open an attachment. The flyer is the email, and it talks about different topics. So for you, for clients, it could be, come see me at open house, and you create a welcome flyer for that, or anything like that. But we have 12 of them done. So once a month, they're going to get this flyer. And then we have a text message, because I do Twilio through command, which is only $8 a month. And the text coincides with the flyer that they just got a couple of days ago. And it says something like, hey, hope you saw my email about how you can earn 100% at Keller Williams. I would love to meet you for coffee. Let me know if you're available Tuesday, or something like that. And then I get the replies that way. And it does it all for me in a mass email and a mass text message that goes out. So I get a lot of responses all at once. And I get a lot of appointments from it. So if I get appointments from agents or people that are thinking about a career in real estate, it's the same concept for, your database, basically.
But she's off doing some other stuff.
Yeah, so, you know, it just, you're letting it kind of do the work and thinking for you and staying in touch and on top of mind with all these people. Okay, any questions or anything for Lynn?
I have a question. When you do the mass, tagging, email, just to anybody, is it, can you separate it by your tags?
Mhm.
And, because I haven't done it, I actually went on there and
If, so
sent
here's
a
the
bunch of
caveat.
people the Labor Day one.
If you decided to actually tag your database, so if you didn't tag your database, you got a jumbled up mess, I can't help you. You gotta
Right.
do some work, but if you actually tag them, we can filter it however you want to filter
Okay,
I gotta go back in and actually tag appropriately at the first, juncture of getting everything command, I had like stores filled out. And I thought that was the way, sure.
it. So I think it was last week, Denise talked to you guys about tagging and she showed you a lot of different options. You go back in there and it's just a good idea to clean up your database anyways, to figure out who are these people, how do you know these people?
Great idea.
And as you do it, maybe reach out to them.
yeah, so.
Do that for one of your lead gen days.
I found would have to clean up my tags a little bit or tag usually different things.
And let me also say, you can use multiple tags. So like for me, tags are agents or people in school, people thinking about a career in real estate. So it could be a group of people I met at open house. It could be my past clients, and past clients could also be my top 50. So I have a top 50 database. So they can be on multiple tags. So for example, I had career night last night. So I selected a tag of people who were thinking of career in real estate or in school. I wouldn't send a career night link to someone who's already got their license from another company. So I broke down that by tags to send out a mass invite to my Zoom career night. So same thing, you can decide, okay, I met all these people at open house and maybe I want to invite them to the open house I'm hosting this Sunday. That would make sense. It could be something like, hey, it was so nice meeting you at open house. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be at, and then maybe put a link of the house you're going to be at. That would be a good, real quick, easy bulk email that you can send out there using your tags.
Yeah. And we are gonna touch on just some marketing, that's aside from prospecting. So this is marketing that you're going to spend money on. So like offline advertising, so radio ads, TV ads, online advertising would be like pay-per-click advertising, Facebook advertising, direct mail, promotional items like swag, t-shirts, things like that, that you would give out. Sponsorship, so it's sponsoring different events and stuff like that. But Lynn, if you don't mind, will you talk just very briefly on how to Facebook advertise through command?
Okay, so this is a little more challenging, when you do it. If you haven't been to one of my classes, I suggest that you attend one. It's super easy. If you've already do this, I suggest you check out your current market center's Facebook and disconnect and reconnect your Facebook, so we don't have any issues. But command allows you to run ads through your Facebook. Now, you're gonna get conflicting information from whoever you're talking about, but I'm gonna be 100% command. And this is why. If you're running ads through command, Facebook, but you're running them through command, you're gonna get the buying power of color. So when I say that, Facebook doesn't care about you. Facebook cares about the dollar. So Facebook looks at Keller Williams as a group, not Keller Williams, like Elevate, Keller Williams Legacy. They look at Keller Williams all across. How much money is Keller Williams spending with Facebook? A lot. Versus how much money is Lynn Scott spending? $5, $6. So I'm not gonna get good placement. I'm not gonna get cheaper leads. That's why it works.
Yeah.
It's not because, we're amazing. Well, we are because we're spending so much money with them. That's why we're getting better leads, better placements. And here's the fun fact. I gotta be careful on how I say this. We, command lets us select by interest, AKA we're targeting.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing. But Facebook doesn't allow you to target, but we're allowed to through command to select interest. Interest meaning I want to put this in front of people that searched on Zillow, people that searched on realtor.com so
You can get more targeted ads.
and this works because I've been testing out theories, because for I've been researching stuff randomly to see what Facebook pulls up for me. I was looking for a new computer and I searched Dell, I searched just random stuff to see what Facebook, I was looking for deals, right? So Facebook pulled up these sales for me. I was like, yes, so excited. They found this lovely computer right here for 47% off. I was so darn excited. So if people are searching on Google, because Google's a whole new entity in and of itself, if you're searching there, Facebook's gonna see you searching there and it's gonna put the stuff from you. So that's how those magical Facebook ads pop up in your feed. So if they're on Zillow, that ad has a better chance of popping up in people's Facebook feeds. That's why you kind of want to do stuff like that. You want to target Zillow, you want to target realtor.com. If they're house hunting, if they put stuff like that in, anything that you could think might be real estate related or put in there, and it'll show you the people that it's going to put them in front of. So like how I'm looking at it is I'm gonna put you right in front of like 1 million people right now in the area of, let's say we're doing, because we're in Strongsville of a 25-mile radius. That's the people I'm gonna throw that ad in front of. It's pretty interesting. You'll see clicks, you'll see views. If I don't click on it, you're not gonna capture. But you can see the views, like, so if I scroll, I gotta give it a stop, I gotta give it a click. If I don't click on your ad, I don't capture you, but if I scroll, if I click on it, I gotcha. So, yeah, I think of clever ways in that ad, how do I get you to click? So that's for anything on Facebook. If you click it, they got you, they got your information. Just FYI.
And I highly suggest taking one of those classes. to
It's
learn
interesting,
how
because
to-
I've been trying to figure out how to do this, because I'm guilty of it. Sometimes you can't stop. I keep going. If you're on Facebook, keep going, because they'll capture your information. If you ever wonder why you get these random things up here, because they've captured you.
I don't think they can hear me.
They can't hear you, absolutely,
can hear you.
100% hear you.
I have a question on something you said at the beginning of that conversation.
Okay, and we have a question online too.
Because I use Command for Facebook ads. And what you're saying, interest, in other words, it's kind of like Google AdWords, it's keyword. So like she said, house,
Yep.
hunting, Zillow, if you put all them in there, the algorithms pick you up. So what you said though at the beginning of that is, if you have a Facebook command, delete it and redo it, what was that? I didn't get that.
Oh,
So you remember when I had the conversation, because you were one of my people on Friday?
Yeah, my ad ended up coming through and I didn't have to do anything.
So Facebook updated its privacy policy. So since Facebook is technically considered, Command is considered a third-party app to them, sometimes we have to delete the connection and redo it. I gave you instructions to do that.
I heard you say that too, I think yesterday, and of course,
People still haven't listened, and I keep getting emails about it, so I'm gonna reiterate it as much as humanly possible.
yeah, I need those instructions.
No,
I couldn't get them.
I'm also gonna give everyone the caveat, because when people's ads fail, I get blamed. Okay, guys, we are fishing on the internet. This is like any fishing we do. Sometimes you catch fish, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you catch fish with a net, and because you have a great, amazing ad, and we catch a lot of fish. Sometimes I'm fishing with a pole. Maybe sometimes I forgot to bait that pole. Sometimes fish like worms and you have the right worm. Sometimes you fish with bread and fish aren't biting on bread that day. So think of it like you are fishing. It's not an exact science. I'm sorry if your ad wasn't successful. It's not an exact science. We're fishing.
I don't know, yeah, I just give it the internet.
You would be surprised.
Yeah, like, I didn't even, when you reached out to me, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you could help me.
Lynn can do a lot.
Yes.
Alicia, do you have a question?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay, you had your hand up. Okay, perfect. So there's some sources that use both prospecting and marketing. So like open houses that we talked about in different sessions. You are also going to use you're going to definitely use some marketing, because you're going to probably have some ads and stuff that run for your open house. But what are some common prospecting methods that we can use with open houses? So Danielle, what are some prospecting things that you do for your open houses?
If I have time, like something I pick up at the last minute, it's hard to do this, but to call the neighborhood,
Yep,
walk around, pass out the door hangers, that we have made. Just introduce myself to the neighbors, even put up maybe a little sign in the local, grocery store where they have the work boards or whatever.
yep,
So yeah, those are some big things to do to. get more people in there.
Create an ad on Canva, we do that too.
Well, and on command, and then make an ad even.
yep.
Or Facebook and then.
So that's how you're kind of doing some marketing and prospecting for it. So when you're door knocking for an open house, it's your opportunity to make the name, to let everyone know, all the neighbors, that you're gonna be having an open house. Inviting neighbors to the open house to meet you and see the listing, and then even to get neighbors, you know, hey, do you have any relatives or anything that want to be your neighbor? Have them come to the open house. The other thing that you're also doing though, is you're just showing how proactive of an agent you are. So maybe they don't come to your open house, but maybe they're like, hey, I want to work with that agent because she's working hard for her client. So, you know, door knocking has a lot of different benefits, especially if you're doing it to invite them to an open house or something like that. There's a lot of different benefits for doing it.
Yatra, we have a suggestion in our group here. Leah Jones said that she does Facebook Lives for her open
Well,
house.
talk to us more about Facebook Lives.
Leah?
Okay, well, you can, you know, you can promote your open house while you're there, like you can actually go on Facebook Live while you're there, like when you first get there, kind of invite people to come out to come, don't forget, you know, that you're there, come on, stop through, you know, you can, and then you can kind of show the house, you know, you can give them like a little sneak preview about the house. You know, it's different ways to promote it, and you can also do a Facebook Live before the open house, to, you know, you don't have to just wait till you get to the property. So it's
Excellent.
different ways to do it, to kind of get the word out.
Thanks, Leah.
I'd like to expand on that as well. I do the same thing. I do Facebook Lives. I get there probably about a half hour prior. And then what I do is, you know, let everybody know, just like she said, hey, you know, open house starts at this time, you know, come out and join me, come say hi. But also doing a little teaser with just like a couple high points, you know, interesting points of the house, just, you know, to get them kind of reeled in and to pique their interest a little bit. But I found that, you know, to be very helpful.
I love that. Great ideas. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, let me also add this, guys, not without the seller's permission. If it's not your listing and you're hosting someone else's open house, you cannot photograph or do Facebook Live without the seller's permission.
Absolutely.
I only bring that up because I had a house listed here in town that was he was a relief pitcher for the Indians. And someone was showing his listing and was Facebook Living, and he about lost his head because he didn't want people knowing that was his house out there in the public. So you just have to get permission from the seller, which is usually easy to do.
And you do that at the listing appointment, when you fill out, I said you do that at the listing appointment anyway. when you
Yeah.
fill out.
Find out what kind of marketing.
Not if it's not your listing. What I'm saying is if you're
Alright.
hosting an open house for some other agent, you don't have permission. The listing agent has permission.
Sometimes you'll host an open house for someone else, so
That's right.
they might not want other people marketing their
Yeah,
thing. And
sure.
yeah, something I always do, like if I'm hosting an open house for someone else, I always ask that agent, am I allowed to market it? Like, make sure I always ask them those questions before. Okay, any other questions or comments? We're gonna move on to talk about, is there any questions in the? Yeah, okay, perfect. So we're gonna talk about referrals. So many agents miss out on referrals, and yet referrals are probably the easiest and most lucrative source of leads. So we'll talk about different types of referrals and the systems to put in place. But we're gonna look at client referrals, agent to agent referrals, worldwide referrals, and business to business referrals. So, we're gonna start with client referrals. So as mentioned earlier, top agents typically rely on their sphere and their clients for most of their business. A lot of top agents get 90% or more of their business from referrals. So it begins with setting expectations from the very beginning, to your sphere, to your clients, to anyone that you're working with, that your business really runs on referrals. So, before you can ask for referrals though, or before you have earned that, right to even get referrals, you have to add value. So some of the ways that you can add value, if you're looking at your book, you can share your KW app, you can share market statistics, or you can provide vetted vendor lists. But what are some other ways that we can add value to our clients in our sphere in order to ask for a referral? So what are some things that you guys do that you're adding value?
I reach out via text, how's their day, happy Tuesday, whatever,
Yep,
you know,
staying in contact with them, letting them know that you're there for them.
yeah, how's everything going? If I know something personal that they told me, like, they were going on a vacation, I'll ask them, how was their vacation?
Yep, I love that. What's another way that you guys can add value?
Neighborhood search for their neighborhood.
Yes. That one's huge, and that's even, like, everyone likes to know what houses are selling for in their neighborhood. So when I talk to a lead, that's a great drip campaign to put them on right off the bat, is a neighborhood nurture. So that way, every month, they're getting information on what homes are selling in their area. Right now, I know a lot of people are doing free equity analysis. So they're calling up their sphere, or they're calling up leads, and they're saying, hey, let's get together, I can do a free equity analysis for you. And all that you're really doing is you're doing a CMA, you're finding out how much they own their house, and you're letting them know, like, hey, this is how much equity you guys have in your home. Do you want to buy an investment property, or do you want to put some updates into your home? But whatever you do, you always want to come from a place where you're providing value to them, and that's going to make you look like an expert. That's going to make them want to send you referrals. So any other examples of ways that you can add value for referrals?
We connect them with lenders, make sure they've got everything.
Yep, I love that. Connecting them with lenders. And especially with us, we have a lot of relationships with different lenders. And we know of some great programs and things like that. So even if it's for refinancing, again, we're not always looking to connect with people to get them to sell or buy right now. We're coming from a place of contribution, so we're looking at all the ways that we can help them. So even let's say you're on Facebook and you see a friend that, her basement flooded. Find out how you can help her. You guys have vendors, call her up and say, hey, I know a great basement guy, or hey, I know a great contractor. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Do you want me to have him come out? It's just, whatever you do, come from a place of contribution, and always try to find ways that you can provide value. So there's some great conversation starters in our guide to ask, I guess, for referrals. So my goal by the end of the transaction is for you to be so thrilled you'll tell everyone about me. Who do you know that would like an experience like you've had? Things like that. So we're just going to take a few minutes and talk about different conversations that we can have with leads and with our sphere, with clients, and to ask for referrals. So we're going to break out into groups for 4 minutes.
So do you want agents? Do you want client referrals?
Yeah, we're still on client referrals right now. Yeah, 9-7. So let's talk about ways to get client referrals.
I have 4 minutes and don't.
Not talking yet.
Not yet.
Okay. All right, we are going to reconvene. So how about everybody kind of share some of the ways that you get referrals from your clients? We'll start with Living.
Hey, sorry about that.
Hey,
Okay, somebody's talk, what did we talk about?
During the process, ask that every time they're happy.
Every time they're happy, ask for a referral. Who do you know that I might help today? Absolutely. And that could be 5 times during a transaction, right? When you
should
write
be
it,
5 times. During a transaction, ask them every opportunity you get. I love that. What about Legacy?
So what we talked about was making sure that you thank the person who gave you the referral, and you've got 3 opportunities to do this. I do, and what we talked about is a gift card thanking the person that gave you the referral at the time the referral is given. So it's extremely important not to just thank them when you get the listing or when you sell the house. You're thanking them for the referral. So there's a gift card given for the thank you. Then another gift card's given when you either get the listing or you sell the buyer a house. And then the third thank you comes when that transaction closes. And that at that point, it's not just a thank you gift card. It gives you an opportunity to do a pop by with some kind of nice gift.
Yep. I love that. And that's very important. We actually talked about that too. Making sure you thank the referral source. And she made a great point. If you want to thank them immediately, even if it doesn't become, you know, a client of yours, if it doesn't pan out, you want to still let that referral source know that you're thankful that they sent you a referral. And that's how they'll continue to send you referrals. Okay, so there's client referrals, and now we're going to talk about agent to agent referrals. So client referrals can come from agents as well. And you might wonder why an agent would ever refer a buyer or seller to you. So there's several reasons that an agent might do that. So you might have an agent at your market center who mainly works with listings. So he's going to refer you his buyer. Or an agent might have a client that's outside of the distance that they're willing to go. So he might call you up and say, hey, do you mind taking care of this buyer? I know Jason Hogan here, he actually referred some buyers my way. And I was extremely thankful for him. And so a couple things with that is you always want to make sure you're staying top of mind with all the agents within your market center. And some ways to do that, especially for newer agents, go to all your market center events, go to your team meetings. These are opportunities for you guys to network with other agents. Let them know that you're looking for buyers, that you're looking for listings, because you never know. You know, you might have an agent that has to go on maternity leave or has to do something. And if you're top of mind to that agent, they might call you up and say, hey, I'm going to be out for a couple of weeks. You know, if I send you some buyers, would you handle them for me? Or, hey, I'm a listing agent. I don't really want to work with buyers. Would you mind taking my buyers? But seriously, network as much as you can within your market center, and just, you know, that the market center meetings are wonderful for a lot of things, but I think they're the best opportunity to network with other agents and events and things like that. So you just want to make sure you're always staying top of mind. And then how an agent referral works is when an agent refers a client to you, they get a certain percentage of that. So they get a referral fee. And then, you know, but I also, and I'm pretty sure I did this with you, so let me know if I did it, but I like to keep them posted along the way. So, hey, thanks for the referral. I'm taking them out to go look at houses this weekend. Hey, I think we found a house, you know, we might be close, or whatever the case is. Did I keep you posted?
I think so.
Okay, good.
Those they were good too.
They worked out extremely well. 2 great buyers. So, you know, just always keep that in mind as you're networking with agents. And just like when you're talking to everyday people and you're telling them you're a real estate agent, when you're talking to agents, let them know, like, hey, my goal this year is to sell 100 houses. So anything you can do to help me, please do. I mean, let people know, because then when people know what your goals are and what you're trying to do, they want to help you.
You should also be known for answering your phone.
Yes.
I keep a mental note of people who actually answer when you call.
I love that.
So like, I know that you answer your phone.
Thank you. And I mean, that's so true, because we all know that one person, and it can be a friend of ours, that's like, oh, I'm not calling them, they never answer their phone. Always answer your phone. That's such a simple thing you can do to stay top of mind, because truly, when an agent's looking for, hey, I don't want to work with this buyer, I'm gonna call so-and-so, they're going to think of someone that they know is gonna answer their phone. So any questions on agent to agent referrals? The other thing with agent to agent
I
referrals,
do have a question for you. What about family?
yeah, if you don't wanna work, I mean, so I always say, family is like bittersweet. Sometimes people get upset when family don't work, like, I've had agents in the future say like, oh my, I have a cousin that's gonna list the house and they're not gonna list it with me. It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you do not want to work with family, and the best way to, let's say you don't want to work with family, you can refer, but always be that resource, that expert that's like, hey, I have a great agent at my market center that you should work with, and refer them to someone at the market center to work with, because you're still gonna get that referral fee after it. So at least you're still getting something, but that's a great
Relationship saver.
It's a great relationship saver, because it can get a little tricky working with family.
I think my sister was my worst client that I ever worked with. It was
And
horrible.
yes, a lot of people say that, because I think the expectations are just so different.
I was like, oh, you can do this, you can do that.
What I hear from agents is you should cut your commission. You should cut your
Yep.
commission. No, I shouldn't have to do that. I should refer you out,
Yep,
because the other person's not going to cut their commission, so maybe
exactly.
that is the answer.
So yeah, and keep in mind, I think it's like 20 to 25% referral fee. So, if I give you a buyer or something like that, you're still getting a referral fee from it. The other piece of advice that I would give you is put all these agents in your database. Treat them just like a lead, because agents that give you referrals, put them in your database, make sure you're staying in touch with them, just like you would the rest of your database. Because they're a lead source.
I do have where are you at, worldwide?
I'm still an agent to agent. I'm not at worldwide.
So I have more for agent to agent, because agent to agent could be KW agent.
Yeah, we
KW
have-
agent.
And yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So that's the other, that kind of brings us to the next thing, the agent to agent, referrals could be Keller Williams across the country. So, when we get out to meetings like family reunions or things like that, that's another opportunity to network with agents. I know my husband, for instance, he's an agent here. He gets a lot of business from out of state, and it's agents that pick up the phone and call him and they say, hey, I have a client that's moving to Ohio, will you represent them? On the flip side of that, if you have a client that's moving to another state, you want to keep them, you want to be the expert, and you want to say, hey, you're moving to Indiana, I know a great agent. If you don't know a great agent, there's Keller Williams Connect, which if you want to talk about.
So you don't even have to go into Connect. You can go right into Command, and all those little, if you've never been in there, just maybe this is a nice time to go in there and use it. On the left-hand side, there's a section, you can pop it out and it says referrals. You can go in there and whatever zip code you're looking at, say, put in ours. So you can do, like I do legacies all the time because it's fun. And you can see all the legacy agents. You see Jose, like Jose always pops up. But then right under Jose, you can see brand new agents.
Yeah,
You'll see them in all the time. You can always find them. So if I was in California and I put in that zip code, I can look and see which agent I want to talk to, and I can make friends with them. I can request a friendship,
Yeah.
basically. And then I can refer them back and forth. So if they're and you can talk to them, and then you can set your list of terms. So say I just want to refer to something, say I connected with Gina. And I sent her, I have a referral for her, and I give her so many days to say yes or no, and you can have the term, say this is a 30% referral I'm sending her. She says, no, I'm not taking it for 30%, she rejects it. I can go on to the next one. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff. Pop in there, and if you really want more information with it, KW Answers is a lot of stuff. And it gets more fun because people are starting to catch on to this, because probably in the last week, I've gotten like 6 questions on this. You can see where people go. So it's also got like travel patterns. So people from Cleveland, you can see where they tend to migrate to.
That's cool.
Or California, if they migrate to Cleveland, you can see where they're coming from. So maybe it's best if you have an agent in California, maybe if they're migrating to Cleveland consistently, maybe you get them in your referral network.
Yep.
So that you might be their agent to send them to.
And I would say proactively do this. Don't wait until you have a client moving. I mean, proactively, especially like, you know, during downtime or something, go in there and introduce yourself to some client, some agents outside of Ohio and let them know that you're looking to build your referral network. Because that's what's gonna build those relationships. And then if they have someone moving to Ohio, hopefully they'll think of you. The other piece of advice someone gave me, and I love this, is if you're on any one of those like Facebook pages, I know I'm on like the Bold Facebook page or just an agent Facebook page. If someone says, hey, I have someone moving to Ohio, you know, who's a good agent for me to refer, they're probably gonna get 50 comments with agents from Ohio that's like, hey, I'm Dr. Mascarino, you know, I'll help your client. You can find that agent's phone number, call them, and while everyone else is leaving comments on their Facebook, you're calling them and saying, hey, I just saw your post and that you're looking for an agent in Ohio. I would love to help your client. So that's just someone gave me that piece of advice and I try to do that whenever I see it instead of just commenting my name. So, anything, does anyone want to add anything from any of the other market centers or in here? Okay.
I would just add that to stalk them a little bit before you connect with them, right? Look them up on the internet, see what business they do, what areas do they work in, look them up on Facebook. Make sure that that's the person you want to refer your clients to.
Absolutely. Yep. So if you don't have a relationship or you don't know, you know, how they work or anything, you do kind of want to make sure that you're referring your client to a good agent. Because that's the worst thing that happened. And on the flip side, if someone refers a client to you, service that client. I mean, you should always service your clients the best, but service that client really well, because if you want that agent to continue, one, sending you clients, you know, you want to make sure that you do a good job. But two, you don't want to kind of muddy the waters with that agent. So, and I always keep that agent posted as well. Like, hey, you know, your client, talk to your client. We're going to start looking at houses. Just keep them posted along the way. So we talked about the referral network. So Keller Williams Worldwide Referrals. I'm just going to touch on this really quickly. So we always want to look like the experts to our clients. So if you have a client that says, hey, I'm thinking about buying a vacation home in Puerto Rico, or, you know, whatever the case is, don't let them just find an agent. Let them know, like, hey, I know some great agents out there. And then use our referral network on Command or on KW Connect and find them an agent. Again, this makes you look like an expert because you're, you know, getting them in touch with an agent where they're looking to move, and you'll get the referral fee for that too. So. Okay. So business to business referrals is the last source of referrals that we're going to kind of talk about, but raise your hand if you recommended business referrals to friends. So hairdressers, dentists, accountants, lenders. I mean, we're probably all referring our friends to people that we love to work with, correct? So typically when we're referring our acquaintances to businesses that we trust, it's a one-way referral. So we want to make it a reciprocal business relationship. So I want us to talk about some ways that we can really kind of take our business referrals to the next level. How can we secure relationships with these businesses so that when we're referring them business, when they're talking to their clients, you're top of mind agent for that business. So we're going to kind of brainstorm and talk about this just within our market centers, and then we'll come back. We're going to take 5 minutes to just kind of talk about business to business referrals, and just some ways to really strengthen those relationships and make it a two-way relationship. So 5 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna need
His mouse is weird.
real work.
You're back.
Okay, anyone want to quickly share some thoughts from their conversation? Does anyone have a really strong business relationship and they can tell us kind of how they did that?
I can say something about that.
Okay,
So I actually had, we had a unexpected fire at our house and we had to have a restoration company who also, he's a contractor, come out to our home and had to do some major repairs because of the fire that happened. So I ended up, developing a pretty strong relationship with this contractor. So I got with him and I proposed the idea of doing coffee with contractors and just putting a little bit of information like on Facebook Live or on StreamYard. Just like little snippets of, winterizing your home or, what to look for with this or that or the other. So he was all on board. So he said, with my referrals that I get, and I've actually referred him out to 2 clients that used him. So he knows, I'm already in the good with him. And so he said he would definitely put the word out to his customers as well for me. So that's, a definite plus, just knowing a contractor in this industry.
great job. And he'll send you leads. One thing that we talked about over here was making sure that you put all these business referrals in your database so that you're constantly also treat them like any other lead. Get them in your database and communicate with them, put them on some sort of drip campaign or something, so they know. And then, do you want to talk about your lender?
I'll have loan inspector.
Okay, inspector.
So I have an out-of-state investor. And he's a fairly new investor, it appears, and obviously I'm a new agent, and so he kept putting offers in on these houses that were just garbage, and obviously I can't tell him that they're garbage, and then the inspector would do the inspection, and then he was walking away. So wasted time on everyone's end except for the inspector. So I started brainstorming with the inspector about, possible things we could do, and he actually kind of modified what he does and created like a situation with the investor where he goes along on the showings now. We schedule like 4 or 5 at a time. He charges them $50 a showing and can basically point out like major flaws that would immediately be flagged. So it's saving the investor money. And then out of those 4 or 5 showings, he does 1 or 2 purchases. And we are now on a cycle where we do that weekly.
That's amazing.
So, but it helps. It's like win-win-win for everyone. So, and it's definitely not wasting my time as much as it was.
No, I love that. Good idea. Good job. Does anyone from Living want to share?
Well, I do have a divorce attorney that refers me a lot of business. I send her referrals too, I admit it, so unfortunately. But once you demonstrate, I mean, if you have the opportunity to connect with somebody, especially in the business to business realm, look at LinkedIn, see who you're connected with that knows the person that you want to connect with, right? And ask them to make an introduction.
Yeah,
Did you get that? Yeah, ask them to make an introduction, but I get business from the divorce attorney. When I met with her, I told her, I understand that you don't want to know what's happening on both, because I'm working with both sides and I'm completely fair, communicate with everybody. Think about the profession that you're, and know a little bit about their business too, right? Do a little bit of research, create some camaraderie or at least some rapport with them. And yeah, so I have a lender also that sends me
I
business.
love that. And yes, you guys, it's okay to prospect business sources. So you can prospect divorce attorneys, you can prospect contractors. That's a great use of your time as well, and use that as part of your lead gen. Okay, so we're going to, because we just have like a few more minutes, but we're going to talk about geographic farming. So a lot of agents choose to focus their prospecting and marketing efforts in a neighborhood or a set of neighborhoods. I like to farm my own neighborhood that I live in. So when you're thinking about farming, there's a couple things to think about. One, it's not going to be immediate. So if you don't see results in a month, don't say this isn't working, I'm done. This is something that over time, you're going to see results. You have to become that expert over time. And there's a lot of different things that go into geographic farming. So I can door knock, I can send them flyers, I can host, park cleanups and then offer to supply the water bottles, or I can have an ice cream truck go through the neighborhood for me about. So it's a mix of marketing and prospecting, but, I think it's a great idea to choose a neighborhood and just become the expert in that neighborhood. And there's a lot that can go into choosing the neighborhood. I chose my own because it's a large neighborhood and, I live there, so it's easy for me to walk around and door knock and get to know people. And you kind of know the needs of the neighborhood because I'm on the neighborhood Facebook page, so people are looking for contractors, and there's different reasons that you can go out and door knock. So you always want to come from contribution. So something that our team does when we door knock is we put together a vendor list. So you can go door to door and you can say, hey, I know a lot of people in this neighborhood are looking for some different vendors. Here's a list that I put together with all the vendors that I work with, and hand that vendor list to them. You can do like a coat drive, and you can walk around and say, hey, I'm, local real estate agent, and we're doing a coat drive at work. So I'm going to be coming around and picking up coats. I mean, there's different things that you can do so that you're not always knocking and saying, hey, do you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell? But I do always ask that question, but come from contribution. Anyone have anything to add about geographic farming? And I know, Gina, you said that your person at Legacy kind of does that on a very high level. Is there anything additional that they do?
You're talking about the circle prospecting for Mojo.
Yep.
What else can you add to
I
that?
just pretty much, I just sent out, so they give us emails too on Mojo. I
Mhm.
just sent out 4,000 emails just a couple days ago.
He sent out 4,000 emails just a couple of days ago from the Mojo dialer.
Wow.
So.
So a lot of what he's doing is online because that gives him email addresses and phone numbers. So he's not going out door knocking. It's circle prospecting online.
So geographical farming, you're looking for zip codes, correct?
So geographical farming is you're kind of picking a neighborhood or an area, and you're just kind of you're door knocking to that area. You're calling, so you can use the Mojo dialer or Vulcan or something to pull that.
Like, could you be sending postcards?
You could, yeah,
So can you get, like from your title company, can you get a list of zip codes?
you can.
Do it that way?
Yeah, you can use your title company too. And
You can also just go on the tax record on the MLS and just put in a street name. And if you go on to like Realist, I don't know if you guys use the same MLS up there. And go and just type in a name of a street, and then a whole list of everyone's name and address on that street's gonna pop up. And then
Yeah.
click on the map and click on another street and do that name and so on and so forth from there. Let me also add this with farming. It's about the layering effect. It's not about casting too wide of a net. Just because you're doing this neighborhood and then you add this neighborhood and you add this neighborhood and you've only hit everybody once, just know farming is a 2 to 3 year prospect return. So if all you're doing is just keep adding more and more and more areas, they aren't going to remember you. So just like Yatra said, pick a location and then dig deep. Layering, mailing to
Yeah.
them quarterly, try to have some kind of a value proposition, or what we call is a oh God, it's gonna escape me, a reason for them to reach out to you, a call to action. So call me for this reason, and then get their phone number or email address, so that way you can follow up with them further with like, now I can get them on an email drip campaign. And then you can of course still add door knocking to that, because mailing could get expensive, but it's about the layering and stick with it.
Yes. Okay. So I am going to. So we're kind of done with geographic farming. We're gonna move on to events and seminars. So 2 final sources of leads are through events and seminars. There's on KW Connect, you can actually get a buyer seminar, like kind of in a box. They have it all set up for you. But something like if you do a buyer seminar, I highly encourage you to partner with a lender. The lender can then, talk about the lending side, and you can talk about the buying process. But the great thing with seminars is you look like the expert. You're going to invite everyone to one room, and those are your leads. You're lead generating to the people that you're inviting to this buyer seminar, and you're giving them information on the market. You're giving them information on the buying process. You have a lender there giving them information on, the lending process. You can have title, give give somewhat like of a presentation there as well. So, and it's not that high of a cost, you just gotta find a great location. You could find a free location if you wanted to, you could, if you wanted to spend more money, you could, you know, pay to do it somewhere. But it's a great way, I think the biggest cost would be the ad that you place to, get the word out about the seminar. But it's a great way to lead generate and also make yourself look like you're an expert. Some other events that you can do is you can do client events. You can do neighborhood park cleanup like we had talked about, ask people to join you. You can supply the bags for people for the cleanup, the gloves and the water bottles. So there's way to do cheap events, and then there's way that you can kind of invest the money into it and do some bigger events. But those are definite ways to lead generate. So what we're going to do, because we have our team meeting, is, so at the beginning of this, I said that I wanted everyone to kind of think about what their main lead gen sources were going to be after this. So one of our lead gen sources is always going to be our Sphere. So from everything we talked about, you know, whether it's geographical farming, circle prospecting, calling expireds, calling for sale by owners, open houses, things like that. I want us all to start thinking and take the rest of the time that you're here to put a plan together about what other 3 lead gen sources are you going to focus on. So something that a lot of agents, and I know I did this and I still kind of sometimes do, is we kind of try everything. Like, you know what, I'm gonna try calling sale by owners and expires. And if you really just kind of focus on a few, you can become really good at those instead of just being a little good at everything. So let's try to put together a plan of what our lead gen sources are going to be, or what we're going to try. And even with your geographic farming, kind of put a plan together, choose the neighborhood that you're going to geographic farm to, choose the method that you're going to market to them with. And like spend the rest, 30 minutes or so, or even if you guys wanted to talk in your own market centers about creating the plan, put a plan together. Because it's truly gonna help your business, and it's going to kind of, if right now all you're doing is focusing on your Sphere, this is going to be just at a completely different level of lead generating. So,
Question, yeah.
yeah.
So I've done contacted for sale by past, and I've gone for salemeasure.com. Is there another?
So-
way of getting, knowing where the for sale by owners are?
You can just go on, who can?
I always will give you a list of, for sale items and records.
I typically just go on Zillow and find them, by area, like just do for sale by owners. We also, like our team, we have Vulcan, and you can get lists of for sale by owners. But if for sale by owners and expires and things like that, when just take the time to practice the scripts and to role play the scripts, and as silly as that sounds, write them down. Because I used to just pick up the phone and call them, and I wouldn't get anywhere. And then I took this coaching class, and we did focus on the scripting part of it.
You have to do that in your individual market centers.
Yeah, I know, I'm just telling them, I'm just saying, like, just take the time to really learn the scripts. Because now when I call, I just feel so much more comfortable, and I do get way better results than I used to. Yeah, and if you guys need scripts, I'm happy to share.
Sure.
What?
Because if we're gonna end it, let's make sure they understand what you want.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, just take the time with your market centers, we're gonna create our lead generating playbook pretty much. Besides your sphere of influence, I want you to think of your other 3 lead gen sources that you're going to start focusing on and create a plan. And talk amongst your market centers, or just kind of create the plan on your own, but that's it for today. Does anyone have anything to add or questions before we log off?
Legacy living.
A couple people in the room would like to know if you'd share your script for FSBO.
I will. How about I share it with Gina and Karen, and then if you guys want to email it out to everyone, does that work?
Perfect.
And legacy, I owe you a list from yesterday's.
I have so many scripts to share. Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully today was helpful.